Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the CertiK Security Leaderboard Showcase. I'm your host, Aaron Leibowitz. As you all know by now, in this showcase we host a guest for a live AMA where we discuss their work with CertiK. The Security Leaderboard, we throw in some live questions from you guys, the viewers. Our goal is to raise the standards of security in the DeFi ecosystem. The Security Leaderboard found at CertiK.org is a free tool to help you DYOR. Today I will be joined by the Elongate team, contributing $2,000 worth of Elongate as rewards for top questions. Make sure you go check out the Twitter post with all the rules so that you get your questions in and can collect on your rewards. Now, please remember to like and subscribe before we jump in here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Elongate's CertiK leaderboard listing. This is the page you'll land at CertiK.org. As you can see, there are tons of projects whom you know. You can see their audits, their Skynet on-chain monitoring, as well as any shields they may have active. Let's jump to Elongate's page. Elongate has an audit as well as Skynet active. As we scroll down, you'll be able to see that you can click into the audit itself. You can see all of the primitives of the Skynet monitoring. Then at the bottom here, you have social keywords aggregated. Now let's bring in our guests for today. Alex, Lorenzo, Hassan, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thrilled to have you guys here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Lorenzo, Hassan, how are you?
I'm doing great too. Thank you.
Excellent. So can you guys start off by giving us an overview of Elongate, a bit of a background on yourselves and your roles within the team?
Sure, I can go first. So I am Hassan. I am the CTO. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I've got over 15 years of software testing and development experience in media, retail, finance, and mobile sectors. But lately, I've been focusing on software quality, and the teams I lead consist of performance engineers, security engineers, and software developers in test.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And from me, my name is Alex. I'm the Chief Storytelling Officer for Elongate. My background is I've spent the past 10 years doing branding and user experience for nonprofits, specifically in higher education and universities.
Awesome. Last but certainly not least. Are we muted?
Oh.
Okay, so my name is Lorenzo Andri. I'm 30 years old, CEO of Elongate. My past experience is basically in the telco sector. I've been leading dev teams. I've been working as project manager, and I'm now currently working for the Swiss federal government as business analyst. And that's about it.
Awesome. And thank you guys for those intros.
And then just a quick overview of Elongate. It is the largest crypto charity token in the world. And we've done $3 million for charity just in the past 8 weeks. We're super proud of that.
Wow. That's fantastic. It's a huge milestone for you guys and for the charities you're supporting. So Lorenzo, Hassan, your guys' titles make sense, but Alex, I've never heard of a C-suite title of Chief Storytelling Officer. Can you dive into that a little bit? What exactly?
Yeah, for sure. I can dive into that. So that was actually something we took from Microsoft. So Steve Clayton is the chief storyteller of Microsoft. And he said, it's really easy to slip into celebrating yourself and celebrating your product, but it's so much more rewarding to go and find stories of where those products are actually having an impact and talk about that. IBM also has a chief storyteller, and his name is Lewis Richardson. And he said that IBM, you would think that they're in the business of technology or products, but it's actually the business of magic. And to sell magic, you tell stories. So great content, great products, great communities. They all have to tell great stories. And for me, everything is story, right? Story is setting, conflict, and then resolution. Story is emotion. Story is finding a detail that makes people want to join you for a journey. I tell myself a story about who I am. If you drink a Coca-Cola, then you're participating in a story that they've told you about who you become when you drink that Coca-Cola, right? Stories are actually how the human mind processes information. We don't process ones and zeros. We don't process pros and cons. We don't really process anything objectively. We process stories. So Elongate donates to charity every single week, right? When I talk to charities, they usually don't understand crypto at all. They don't know why they should trust us. They don't know why they should trust crypto money. They don't know why they should celebrate our accomplishments. So I have to tell them our story. And when I talk to people who might want to participate in our community or shout us out on social media, they have to understand who we are, which is more than just listing off timelines. It's more than just talking about tokenomics. And then when I'm on the live streams and I'm celebrating with the community and interviewing a charity CEO, it's about finding the story that we are all characters in that moment. So it's about understanding that in order for people to use your product, you have to understand the story that your product tells. In order to get people's attention, you have to know how to tell good stories. If you look at businesses like Apple or Amazon, and I know I'm going on, but this is something I'm super excited about, stories. It used to be that in order to do the best marketing ever, you had to have somebody who understood data and could process massive amounts of data. But now these companies like Amazon are hiring English majors to do their marketing because they've kind of figured out you can have all of the data in the world, but it's useless if you can't tell a story around it. And it's really not about telling the story that you think people want to hear, because that is immediately obvious. It's about finding your authentic story. So the story of Elongate, and I know Hassan and Lorenzo will back me up on this, the story of Elongate is one of innovation, boldness, and celebration. And we want to empower our audience to be innovators, be bold, and to celebrate with us. So by doing that, we make them not just the audience of the story, we make them part of the story itself.
All right, I'll give you credit. You're a good storyteller. So diving into the Elongate system, you guys use a newer tokenomic setup. Many people are calling it frictionless yield. I think they have some background noise going on. Anybody mute? Thank you. So people are calling it frictionless yield today. What makes this tokenomic attractive to you guys in designing the system? Are there any drawbacks you've seen so far?
Yeah, so I can give a little explanation on that topic. So basically, what makes it attractive is obviously the rewards that the holders get, the redistribution. And then on the other hand, the liquidity generation, which basically secures our operation as well as our charity donations. So I think the liquidity generation also helps to create a stable price floor. So that's like the perfect package for us, right? And if we come to the drawbacks, certainly we do have a swap and liquefy function in there to basically generate the LP tokens. And I would say the drawback right there is that a certain amount of our native token Elongate is accumulated, and then half of it is being swapped once the threshold is reached. And that displays at times a pretty big red candle, right? And that opens the door to lots of FAT, obviously, but it's just basically the contract doing that. So that's one of the drawbacks. And then obviously, as the deflationary model is quite new, we also struggle at times to get on centralized exchanges to support our tokenomics, because that's basically what we need to be able to operate, right? So that's the drawback of it. Hassan, you want to add something to that, maybe?
You've explained it perfectly well.
Excellent. So when you're talking about exchange adoption, is that an issue for exchanges because constant rewards coming into their user accounts are difficult for them to handle, or are they just concerned about the setup itself?
So basically, from a technical point of view, it takes a lot of integration efforts, and I mean, as the model is pretty new, it's pretty hard to get a redistribution set and to get exchanges to support it.
Makes sense. I actually just in the last episode here had a project on that was switching from a rebasing mechanism to a different tokenomic setup because of similar issues with exchanges. Not enjoying those rebasing projects. So guys, moving on, transparency. It's really one of the core pillars of DeFi, and many charities have come under fire in recent years for a lack of transparency, even with some being exposed as scams. How do you vet the charities that you guys donate to? Do you use any of the independent investigators that have popped up over the last few years, like Charity Navigator?
Great question. I can kind of tackle that one. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head with Charity Navigator. That's one of my favorite tools in the space. There's a few others that are really similar. We listen to our community to find out what kinds of causes they want to support, what kinds of charities they're excited about, and we pursue those. We also have several that come knocking on our door, right? Because I mean, free money is free money. So we want to make sure that we're super responsible about the charities that we engage with. So number one, over 90% of their income, right, their donations have to go directly to the beneficiaries, not overhead costs, not administration, not CEO salaries, right? We're very particular about that. We talk to charities that have open books, that have put out financial reports, and then Charity Navigator is really good because they actually look at the IRS filings of projects over time and provide an independent audited rating to make sure that they are being responsible and secure with their funds. And then, of course, we ask the charities to come back and show us the impact that our contributions have made.
That's excellent. Do you guys sort of go in setting some KPIs or expectations for those impacts and then measure up what they report back? Or is it more of just really seeing what your money has done?
Well, as long as we've done the groundwork on the front end to make sure that we're going with reputable partners, we don't want to be putting more work on their shoulders than we have to, right? Part of the role that we've kind of assigned ourselves is to be their guide in the crypto space, be their friend, be their support. And we don't want to give them more work than they already have because they already are underfunded and understaffed and overworked when they're trying to do these amazing initiatives, amazing causes. So we don't want to put a lot of stipulations on how they use their money as long as we know from the beginning it's going to be responsible.
For sure. That makes sense to me. So I must say, you guys have one of the most respectable missions of any DeFi project that I've seen, bringing the ideals of charity and equity back into finance and especially DeFi. What made you three rally around this concept? And was it how you guys you meet outside of this and ideate it together, or what happened there?
Yeah, I can kind of speak to the kind of beginning of it, and then I'd love Lorenzo and Hassan to jump in. But for me, what I saw, the kind of rallying around the concept was, 3 or 4 years ago, for me anyway, the narrative in crypto was, it was a narrative of altruism and decentralized equality, right? It was the artist in Ghana can get paid fairly for what her work is worth, right? A young couple can store wealth for the future without it being threatened by inflation, right? We can figure out ways of managing currency and wealth and money that aren't beholden to centralized institutions, right? And then that has been like an amazing narrative that everybody has been rallying around and supporting. And then in the past 6, 7, 8 months, with the massive mainstream boom in crypto, kind of naturally, there's been just a massive surge in hype, a massive surge in capital, and also a massive surge in predatory behavior, high-risk schemes, scams, get-rich-quick plans, like all that kind of stuff just kind of comes naturally with the boom in crypto. And what we really wanted to do was say, when you think of how does crypto intersect with charity, the answer somebody would have given you 6 months ago is, well, it doesn't, kind of, right? Like, what are you talking about? And we wanted to say, well, it can and it should. And if there's all of this capital flowing into crypto, right, because people believe in the power of crypto, that it is the future of money, why shouldn't charity and these worthy causes get a slice of the pie? Why shouldn't they? And that's really what we wanted to do with that. I don't know if Lorenzo, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, so basically we pretty quickly saw the huge impact that we can make also, like, based on our tokenomics and on the way how we approach this project, right? So I think that it's just really great that we can be a role model. And we have also seen that many other charity projects, charity DeFi projects came after us. And actually for us, it's a great thing to see, right? Because we really want to be that role model, to bring good to the world, right? So super exciting to be on this journey.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So what's your vision for the future of Elongate? Where do you see it going from here?
I can talk about that. There's a roadmap on our website, which is quite detailed in terms of it's divided into phases as to what we want to do down the line. But the most exciting part for me is that there might be a use case that we haven't even thought about, right? Crypto is such a fast moving space, and our community is at the heart of it, right? We'll be nothing without our community. And they suggest so many good ideas that we can implement down the line. And my backlog keeps on getting filled with all these cool ideas that, we should definitely implement in the future. But just to give people an idea, I really see Elongate as synonymous with, charitable giving over the blockchain. We really want to create an ecosystem where new companies can get onboarded and accept charity over the crypto. And I really want to make it really transparent and set the gold standard for this to follow. Some utilities down the line could be, our own exchange, where we can really control the tokenomics and how charities can get their money, and also investors can also get more money. We can also partner with retailers and have our own crypto card where people can really control the way their money is spent and given to different charities all across the world. And also, there's other utilities with it, like you can have your own wallet to store your crypto in a safe and secure way. And lastly, coming to real world applications, which include having our own food bank, having our own orphanage, having our own charity, so we can really make a bigger impact in the charitable space.
That's amazing, guys. Those are some really, really great goals, and I hope to see you achieve them as I follow the project moving forward. So for any other questions from me, let's bring in a couple of questions from the community. So one I see here, how was the idea born, and how was such an international team created? I think we covered part one of that. How about the team?
From my end, it was really just a bunch of people that had the same light bulb go off in their head, right? The name, right? The name itself is a meme, which is sort of a love letter to the space we're in, right? The space we're in is fueled by internet culture. It's fueled by memes. And using that as a way to elevate the crypto space, to bring philanthropy back into it, I think is just beautiful and hilarious at the same time. So it really was just kind of overnight, all of a sudden, people around the world rallied around it. And then we started looking at what people's skills were and what they brought to the table, and realizing we really had hit upon something, and we had support from any country you could name.
That's awesome, guys. Live question here. Who is the creator of Elongate? I think they're looking for one name. Anybody?
Lorenzo, I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, so basically what I can say to that is the contract was created by an anonymous founder, right? So he felt that he wouldn't be able to keep going, and that's basically the way how we got involved in the end. So we've taken over in the first week, and as Alex described, the team has rallied around it, and from there on we took it to where we are at now.
Excellent. Let's get some more in here. Who should we pick? We'll actually go with a question that we received in the forums before. What's one of the biggest reasons, security-wise, we should trust Elongate in terms of being a safe crypto?
Well, on a high level, number one, there's no wallet. You've seen other projects where the founders or the devs hold 30% or 40% or even 60% of all the tokens.
Sure.
The largest wallet on the exchange has 1% of all the supply. So even if every single dev were to rally together and sell all at once, we could barely even touch the actual supply. And then Hassan, how much do we have locked up right now of our liquidity?
So the liquidity that we have locked is over 80%, and that's across PancakeSwap V1 and V2. So yeah, the majority of our liquidity is locked. And I'm also going to add to the fact that, yes, there are no big wallet holders out there which can just dump and disappear. There's also the CertiK audit, right? So we've partnered with one of the most recognized names in the security industry, who are really respected and have partnered with the likes of Binance, PancakeSwap, Tether, for example. So having them really look at our contract and identify all the vulnerabilities was something really that our investors and people out there can see that there are no really any backdoors or secret passages that we can exploit and really pull the rug or anything like that. So having that audit and a high score was something that we're really proud of.
Exactly. I can just echo that it was a huge validator and a badge of pride for us. There are other services that we could have gone with that will just issue you a certificate and just say bye. But the thoroughness and professionalism from the CertiK team was without compare. So we really enjoyed that.
Absolutely. And what we really liked was the way you guys were honest and transparent about it. Everything is publicly available on the website. The report that we got from you is what is available on the website. We were able to respond to it. We were not able to modify anything. So yeah, it was all done in a very super legit way.
Awesome. I love to hear it, guys. And can you speak to why you chose the Skynet solution on top of the audit?
So that really was an optional add-on that I wanted to get added. So one thing is it really looks at different aspects of the performance of your coin that is not really visible to people looking in. So that was a very good validator that it's just not the quality of the code. Is so many other things which are also being monitored, and they are really performing, and how they're performing compared to our competitors and the industry standards. So there's some nice metrics for people to see over there. And also it's very cool to have that social widget at the bottom as well to see how many people are talking about you and, how you are trending and what topics you are trending for. So it's an additional added value for people out there to see.
Excellent. Well, I love that you guys feel as strongly as I do about CertiK and the security leaderboard especially. Moving on to some more live questions. How do you plan to bring money directly to people in need? Do you foresee something like a GoFundMe from you guys in the future?
Hassan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think one of the best things that we can do is obviously, which is part of our roadmap as well, is to get on bigger exchanges. And that is obviously something we're going to do. And it's very, very close that we are going to sign deals with bigger exchanges. And that means more volume. That means, more money in our charity wallet. Which means that we can make even bigger impacts for charitable causes all around the world. And especially having our own exchange is really going to make a difference because, one, we can really control the way the tokenomics work and the redistribution works. So that means more money for holders, more money in the charity wallet. And also because we can also, support other stable coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, don't hold me to it. This is just an idea. We are still analyzing it. But you can really use Elongate as a utility token where if you want to be on our exchange and you want to, buy these currencies, the trading fees you pay is in Elongate, right? So you can also support other charity projects even and really get some value out of the trading fees, and then they can be distributed into the charity wallets and also for the investors.
Very cool. And I have a question here that actually I echo and I am curious about as well. Will there be charity volunteer events that Elongate community members can participate in, something like a Habitat for Humanity?
100%. We absolutely would love to do that. One of the ideas we're kicking around that we'd love to bring to life is a blockchain charity conference to kind of bring together everybody interested in using the blockchain for social good, and then getting actually out on the ground and deploying people to not only volunteer at soup kitchens and not only to give food and shelter to the homeless, but like he was saying, building our own food bank, building our own hospital, moving away from simply writing a check every week to a charity and it creating massive impact. And so with that requires scale, it requires infrastructure, it requires careful planning to make sure that it's done with longevity and sustainability in mind. But we're really excited to drive those forward.
Maybe I can add something to that. So what you've been looking at as well is obviously disaster relief. So that's something that in the future that we want to get involved as well. So there will always be the possibility to get involved with volunteering. But that's still some time ahead. But I feel that's something that the public could be looking forward to as well.
Absolutely. And a question here I do want to answer myself is people asking about, can you view the full audit report on CertiK.org? Yes, you can. As we saw in that video in the beginning, go to CertiK.org, navigate to Elongate's page, and you'll be able to view the full audit report, all of the metrics available through the Skynet console. As Hassan was saying, there's a ton of data for you guys to look at there. Really, really interesting stuff, including that social keyword aggregation. So please feel free to go ahead and do that. Moving on here. If we go into a full-on bear market, what are the plans to survive?
Yeah, so I may add to that. What we have done previously, we have swapped quite a lot of our BNB holdings into stable coins before the market crashed. Just to make sure that we can secure the operations. But obviously we also feel the low volume, right? As the tokenomics are based on volume and price action. So what we try to do is to spend the money as efficient as we can, and we need to be able to adapt to any given situation. So we try to optimize our spendings, and it's something that obviously also affects us, but we are confident that we can get through it as we have been through the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah,
and I can add.
I think that I'm just going to add on that. So that's not really something which people are really taking. Most people are not aware of this, but we had our business wallets where obviously we have certain holdings just to continue the operation of our business. And just before the market crash, if we kept our money in BNB, for example, that money would have been halved, or even 75% less by now. So we made a very wise choice at the time to turn that money into stable coins, which really ensures that that money stays as it is. And obviously, I do understand the concerns people have for the bear market, and that how we're going to survive it. So one is to ensure that we are really careful about our expenditure, and also the way we burn our tokens. And we've been demonstrating that in the last few weeks as well, where token burns were part of our weekly charity parties, and we used to burn more than 1 trillion tokens even sometimes, all based on volume. So we're really carefully thinking about how we can make ourselves more sustainable in the long run. And if it comes to making tough decisions like not doing a token burn, or donating a bit less to charity, or delaying the charity party so we can do a bigger donation later, all of those things are taken into consideration.
100%. And I just want to add on to that I love the continual risk assessment approach that Hassan and Lorenzo bring to this whole thing. I think it's genius. And another thing that we're doing, during the market compression is really just making sure that our partnerships are aligned, right? We generate capital for charity, but that capital doesn't do anything until it gets into the right hands, right? And so more than just cutting a check every week for charity, we want to make sure that we have partnerships set up that make those contributions and that impact. Not for every $1 we give, it can be $5 of impact or $10 of impact, right? So regardless of how long this market compression lasts, whether it's another day or another week or another month or whatever, making sure that all of our partnerships are set up and taken care of and nurtured to where when crypto's back, it's back with a bang, and we have everything set up to really tackle it. That's really what is important to us.
So before we wrap up here, I do want to remind people, get in your last questions. Maybe we can get them answered. I'd like you guys to, it seems a few people do not know about Elon's tweet and the name and where it came from originally. And a few people asked if Elon tweeting about you would be a positive or a negative. So do you want to share that story?
Sure.
And, go ahead and speak to Elon tweeting about you.
Yeah, definitely. So of course, Elon said on Twitter, if there's ever a scandal about me, call it Elongate, right? Which kind of plays off the Watergate name. And everybody thought that was very funny, very viral. And we saw, right, when the project got founded, here's somebody who is connected to crypto and he's connected to philanthropy. Why not use this phrase that he coined, so to speak, to launch this movement that brings crypto and charity together? So like I said earlier, it being founded on the meme is kind of a badge of honor for us, right? Because you have serious, dedicated philanthropists and people working in the charity space that have done, you know, way less for charity than we have in 8 weeks, founded on a meme name. And that is something we're really proud of. It's really leveraging the internet culture for the greater good of humanity. And then in terms of him tweeting about us, you know, if he wants to pop up and kind of claim like, hey, Elongate is this thing that I'm proud of because I inspired it by my tweet, great, he can. If he doesn't want to, it's not really that big of a deal because we are just in it for bringing crypto to charity, and that's really what it is purely. And we're really excited to actually partner. We were excited to give to Big Green and bring Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, on the stream with us and talk about his cause. And so we had a fun banter back and forth about the naming and the coining of the coin. Because it was Kimball's brother, and that was a ton of fun.
I'll have to check that one out. Now, before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys want to share with your community, anywhere that they can follow you, that they should keep up with the project?
Yeah, so definitely check out our website. We just launched a brand new website at elongate.cc. All of our socials are there. We have a really, really thriving Telegram community, a thriving Discord community. You can find us on pretty much any social you can imagine. We do live streams every Tuesday for just a quick AMA with the audience. We do hangouts on Fridays in the Discord. And every single Sunday, we do a live stream to give back to charity. And we call that our charity party. And we're super excited about those. I don't know, Hassan, Lorenzo, you have any final thoughts?
Just want to add, don't forget the 24/7 voice chat, which is available on Telegram, which is, you know, monitored and, you know, supported by so many of our volunteers who are always there for helpful advice and to give you support with any issues that you are having. So please go check it out.
And
Awesome.
maybe I'm allowed to wrap up. So here, a big shout out to everyone involved in the project. Amazing work that you guys do, and we are really proud to have you on board.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming today. This was a great AMA. Really excited to see where this project goes in the future and the great causes that you guys continue to support. You have a huge community that is extremely excited about this, as we can see in the chat today. And I'm sure that's going to continue growing. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Here's
Thank you.
next week at the same time. Thank you.